house.
Hey.
I am Shaka Shabazz. Welcome to the Rayshawn and Shaka podcast. Rayshawn is out on assignment in North Carolina. G-Borough, baby. Can't be New Orleans, but I'll give you a shout out, my brother.
Okay.
And Rayshawn was so gracious to let me sneak up in this place while he ain't here so we can continue our saga on the Rayshawn and Shaka podcast. But that's not the half of it. We got a lovely guest stepping in for Rayshawn. Erica.
Hello. Hey,
Erica
everybody.
Erica is like my ride or die. She my ride or die on the Rayshawn and Shaka podcast.
I don't know
One of
about
the
that.
first supporters. She be trying to contribute too, but you know what I'm
I
saying?
believe in
She
you
be
guys.
trying to contribute.
I believe in y'all,
Yeah.
even with your shenanigans.
Exactly. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I'm
I'm so excited.
to be
My
here.
first co-host.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
This
we're
is
gonna have
gonna
to
be
see
fun.
if Rayshawn can stay in North Kakalaki.
Well, look, this Rashawn know you sneaking girls in this business.
Nah. This is a male-centric show, you know.
Rashawn, he snuck somebody in, child.
You understand, my brother. You got to get your own.
Hey, but you know, he's in Greensboro, right? I plan on moving out that way.
Really?
Yeah. In a couple of months in the summer.
Yeah, G-Borough. You going to go to G-Borough?
Yeah.
Maybe you can bring some civility to the place. I'm just
I
saying.
love North Carolina.
Yeah, you might bring some sophistication.
I
'Cause
think it's so beautiful
Really?
there.
Yeah.
I fell in love. My sister and I have a best friend that lives there too, so I love being
Okay,
there.
I didn't know you. Well, I didn't know that. You should have been came on. He would have loved that.
Oh, yeah, maybe we'll come on when he comes back.
Yeah,
We'll see
yeah.
what happens.
G-Borough go get a tick in the population there.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
going out there. I'll be there in the summer. So I'm
Okay,
excited.
so Erica, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am born and raised in Long Beach, California.
Oh, Lord, California.
First of all, don't do that. Don't do that, okay?
For the streets. Go ahead. I'm
What?
sorry.
First
California.
of
What about
all,
northern
it's
northern
the
or southern?
hate for me. What?
Southern or
California
northern?
is amazing.
Northern or southern?
Southern. Long Beach is in
Oh, Long
Southern
Beach,
California.
Long Beach. LBC. I know how to LBC.
Okay, don't do it. Child, don't do
LBC.
it. Somebody
shit.
come get y'all friend, please, because I can't.
Snoop Dogg. I know
Yes,
LBC.
okay,
yeah.
but don't do that though.
Yeah. Nate Dogg. You know, I know what time it is. LBC. Shout out.
Okay. So yeah, born and raised in Long Beach, California. Been out here in AZ, almost 10 years, like about 8 years now.
Okay.
I hate it here now.
Yeah, it's a love or hate thing. Some people love it here, some people hate it here.
Yeah, it was when I first got here. I loved it, but now, I can't.
Yeah.
I'm over the desert.
Gotcha. All right then, okay.
So, you want to tell them how we know each other, Shaka?
No,
No.
no. We're acquainted to mutual business ventures that we partook in
Yeah.
up until last year.
No, 23.
Yeah, but when we first started the podcast, you were so encouraging, and 1, 2 subscribers, 3 subscribers, you were like, hey, just go for it.
I believe in y'all, and you're doing amazing. I believe in you when you first started out on your own, and you did amazing.
Yeah, African American made.
Yes,
yeah. Actually, that's what it was. I forget. It was African American made.
You started with African American
yeah,
made,
you were
and
like,
it was amazing.
And I was like, I don't know, this is just
like,
shit.
just do it, Shaka, just do it. And you did it, and
Yeah.
you put in there, and it really did take off.
And when you came back and said, I saw episode such and such and such, that was so encouraging.
Yeah, because I was so proud of Shaka, because I know you was kind of like, I don't know if I should do this, but you did.
Yeah.
And now look at you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And actually, this is how I met Rayshawn through.
I remember that.
interviewing him.
See what it does for you?
Met a lot of beautiful people doing African American made.
Yeah, you should.
But as rewarding as African American made, this is equally, if not more, rewarding.
Yes.
So yeah.
This is your place. This is where you belong.
Okay, so now that we finished with the pleasantries, Get these boxing gloves on.
Oh,
Get these
you
boxing
ready?
gloves on.
You ready?
So,
Okay.
Erica brought the subjects today.
I
She's
do.
taking Rayshawn's spot, so that's what Rayshawn does.
Yes, I got 2 subjects, y'all.
Okay, all right, that's gonna take 4 hours. So
Little
yeah,
hot topics. So I chose this one because I grew up in church, born and raised. So I thought this would be a good one. So this says a Christian church is trending online after they announced that they are selling plots of land in heaven for $100 per square meter. The pastor says he spoke to God and he was granted permission to do this. They have already collected thousands of dollars.
Wow. The upper room.
What?
The upper room.
The upper room for real.
No, you don't get the room. You just get a piece of the room.
$100 per square meter.
Square meter. So if you want a room, that's what? I don't know.
Like
you
how-
convert meters to feet.
How are we? Is there a blueprint? Like, how do you know what you're getting, where your plot of land?
You ain't, newsflash, you ain't getting
We know that, but I just wanted to be in the room when he presented this to people. Like,
Were people looking at each other like, what's going on here? Where's the camera?
no, I doubt it. I really believe they believed him. This is something that basically like a cultish kind of situation.
Now, you grew up in the church.
I grew up, born and raised in church.
What denomination?
Non-denominational.
Oh, okay. The holiness, non-denominational.
Non-denominational,
type deal.
yes.
Dum, 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 dum,
Right,
dum, dum,
non-denominational
dum, dum,
with a little bit of Baptist, a little bit of Pentecostal.
dum,
Right,
dum,
exactly,
dum, dum, dum.
exactly, exactly, exactly. So I grew up that way. Like literally, my family has a church, so I was there all the time,
So-
every day.
So was there any occasion that the church leader got up and made some similar
So growing up,
sale proclamation?
growing up, my uncle was the pastor, so it was like.
How many girlfriends he had in there? Just curious.
Child, that's a whole nother story, child.
The whole front row pregnant women.
Child. If anybody from Long Beach, California is watching, you tell them about the Rock Christian Fellowship.
Oh, don't put them on blast. They'll come after you.
They already
will come
know.
after you. There'll be an army of them.
They already know. What you mean? It's not a secret.
It'll be an army of them coming after you.
So, anyways, growing up, being in this type of environment, you don't understand that it's not normal. It's not right. It's not correct. Like, that's why I said I feel like when he presented this to his congregation, they weren't like, what? That's weird. No, they were excited. I guarantee you. This is why he got so much money.
Heaven.
Right.
Wow.
Because child. And when you have a leader that is narcissistic, manipulative, they're easily able to manipulate people because they know that you're coming there because you're broken, because you're lost, and you're looking for something.
Of course.
So they feed off
And they
of
can
that.
tap into that.
Tap into that
Yeah.
easy.
All they got to tap into what you really want and what you're missing.
Easy.
Yeah.
And people believe them, and I believed it, and so much so that when I left, grew up, got married, moved to Texas, I ended up in another cultist church, and that one, I could totally see him saying this, and they totally would be buying it, because
Wow.
some of the things he had told us, some of the things he had did, so much so he had convinced us to move from Texas to California because he said he was opening up a church in California, and the whole congregation.
Because migrated like they were in 1869.
Yeah. So not only did we come from Texas, everybody from Baton Rouge as well came.
So he just wakes up one morning and say, I think I want to be in Oklahoma.
This is what he says. The Lord told me that I need to go to California. Wait, he didn't say California at first. At first it was, I don't know where the Lord's sending me, but he told me I need to go and open up a church somewhere else. I'm leaving this church. Then it was, okay, the Lord told me to go to California. And then he told us where in California. But it was more like, everybody was like, well, we're not leaving with that. We're not staying here. We want to be with you.
Wow.
And everybody left. People left their children. People left marriages.
See, I was just thinking job, but you're talking about
No.
children and family.
Yes.
So you go home, Shaquita go home. Guess what, baby? What, baby? I'm tired. I just got off from work. What's going on? We going to California. You're like, baby, I just got this job. We ain't going nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
You wake up in the morning, she gone.
She gone.
Dang.
She's gone.
Wow.
This was extremely.
So that's like breaking up families.
Oh, he was good at that before he even said leaving.
That's crazy.
When I started going there were a lot of married couples. By the time we were leaving for California, pretty much a lot of people were divorced. Or a lot of women left their husbands.
That's crazy.
Listening to him.
Right. So they say, since you were raised in the church and young, even into your adulthood, I'm taking, right? Mm-hmm. I hear a lot of talk that men are leaving the church, primarily for those reasons, right? They just don't have control of their families, you know, the manipulation. They're walking into the church, the deacon's office, and his wife is, you know, barebacked. All these things, right? So, and I think most of it is just them not having control of their families, right? There's a competing thing with church doctrine, whatever that particular doctrine is, and at that particular church, in trying to manage your family, and I guess the power dynamics inside the church too.
So, let me explain that to you. It's not that he doesn't have control of his family, because it's him as a person. So
yeah, but if he's telling you, if you go to, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but if you go to your pastor with a problem in your marriage, and if he's a manipulative person,
of course,
and he tells you to do something that's out of the construct of what is right.
But he couldn't manipulate you unless the seed was already there.
True
so
that.
These women are coming because they're looking for help and refuge and hearing from the Lord, because they're already having some severe problems with their husbands. And so because their husbands, you know, they aren't willing to do the work, you know, counseling, whatever that's looking like for their marriage, now they're looking for it in the Lord. And of course the pastor smells that, and he's like,
smells something else.
Right. Well, that's another story for another day. But he smells that, and he's like, oh, yes, now let's start manipulating. And that manipulation begins.
Yeah, because I've seen videos where couples go in.
Yeah.
I mean, couples are going in, and I can respect you saying that a woman has a problem in her marriage, and so there's already a problem there. A couple goes in, and this man thinks that this man is helping him in his marriage, and he's really sabotaging the marriage for his own deal.
Yeah, because by the time you get to that point of going to seek help and therapy, your marriage is pretty bad.
Right.
So this woman is probably pretty damaged from the constant arguing, so she's just broken.
So you don't think that in many cases is because there are problems in the church? Like, for example, you know, you're trying to go a certain way, and your spouse is saying, no, I don't really want to do that, from a spiritual standpoint or from a religious standpoint, right? Yeah, I'll go every Sunday, or I'll go on Sundays, and you know, but that's about all I want to do. You know, I'm just giving an example, but you know, the other person is more invested in church life than their partner.
Yeah. So that was my marriage. I was married at the time. It was very toxic, very abusive. So for me, that was a refuge, not being, because he didn't want to go all the time. He didn't want to be there all the time. He didn't like that. That's fine. I'm getting away from you. So that's where I go. But because I was so broken and in that space, he smelt that, right? So that's what I'm saying. If a man is working on his marriage and the marriage is working, they're doing the work and they're growing, then they can't manipulate you. There's no way another man's going to come in and infiltrate and manipulate. That's the only reason why it works, is because there's a brokenness in that marriage.
Gotcha.
So that's why it's working so well. When you have a strong marriage, when you're both working on it together, no. But that's how they get you. It's like any abusive person. They smell you being broken and in a bad space and vulnerable, they're going to take advantage.
Okay, I can respect that. Now, a leader of a church gets in front of his congregation and he says, the Lord said I'm going to die if I don't get a Lear jet.
Oh, child.
I need $2 million. We've heard that story a few years ago.
They already said
or,
that.
you know, the Jimmy Swaggart thing,
Yeah.
right? I need so many millions of dollars or whatever. And the congregation,
We give.
they give.
We give.
Right? Do you think that most of them know it's BS?
No.
And they just do it? So do
No.
you think they really feel,
Yes.
really think that, oh,
Yes.
my pastor needs a Lear jet because he gonna die if
Yes.
he don't get it?
That's
Because
what
the
I'm
Lord
saying.
said it, he gonna die.
I'm telling you, especially for years, you've been doing this for years. You believe it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to believe it, right?
So what about the ones that don't give? Like, do they get like shamed and shaded, or do they get? You're like, I rock with pastor, but no, hell to the
Let's
no.
just say that was part of the reason why I got kicked out of the last church.
Oh, you got kicked out of a church? Oh my God!
Because I woke up. I wasn't asleep anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And when I woke up and I started questioning things because things didn't make sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
How are you teaching us to love each other and we pour love into each other and we're there for each other? But then the second somebody kind of questions your teaching and they leave, now you're teaching us not to love them. Don't talk to them. They're not saved. They're not this.
Yeah.
And
That's the isolation.
Yeah,
part, right?
and that woke me up because it happened to a friend of mine who had left. And I was like, that don't make sense. Like, how can I tell her I love her and I'm there for her and she's my friend and I'm always going to be here, but because she decided that this didn't work for her, now all of a sudden I can't talk to her?
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden she's not a good person. So I woke up. And then when I woke up, I started questioning.
Yeah.
And when I started questioning and making my own decisions for my life, because child, when I say they make decisions, they making decisions for you. When I started making decisions for my life, and then I had decided to stop allowing them to take my tithes out of my account. Well, because that was a requirement.
I never got to that point in any congregation.
As
Soon as they start passing that little slip around where they got the little options,
Yes.
I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like,
Yeah, but when you are a member, they required that they would be able to draft our tithes out. There was no excuse. You had to. So I started making it so that you couldn't get my tithes no more. And so when they weren't getting my money.
They get that list every month.
Oh, I had a pastor assigned to me, and she was like, Erica, we weren't getting your tithes. I said, oh yeah, I know. I said, yeah, I'm not.
So do you see a change in attitude, or is there some kind of deflective thing going on?
Oh, they quickly, their attitude changes towards you.
Wow.
And I guarantee when I got a letter, because I didn't get a call saying you no longer could come. I got a letter. I guaranteed it was a sermon about how I was not saved and how I wasn't a good person. And nobody ever talked to me that's still a part of that church that told me they loved me and we were friends and all this.
Right.
They won't talk to me.
Wow.
They won't talk to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is. I can totally see everybody buying this plot of land in heaven.
Yeah, we got to get back to this because this is crazy.
I completely could see this
So-
very easily happening.
You know, some of us believe in heaven, some of us don't. You know, no one has ever come back and confirmed. Some people say they've seen the light or something and they came back or whatever. So I'm not questioning whether there's a heaven, but who sanctions the plot?
That's what
you know
I
what I'm saying?
that's what I said. Like I want to know
square this
what
way
was
with
this
God, or-
conversation.
yeah.
Like, do you have a blueprint of the plots? Like,
right.
how do you know what this looks like? Like,
Yeah.
that's what I was like. What was this conversation?
Yeah. So God gave him the blueprint. You know,
God gave him permission to sell plots.
Yeah. So he knows the whole
Please,
plot.
I believe so much stuff that these pastors say, so I can see it. That's why I don't feel bad. Like I don't feel like, oh my gosh, you're stupid, because I get it. When
Yeah.
you are in a broken space and you believe somebody, because that's all you have to hold on to at that moment, I get it.
Because I'm thinking, and I know it's faith, right? So the whole situation is built on faith. So you can't really mess with people on that. People believe what they believe.
Right.
But if I'm one of the members of the congregation, I say, this is bullshit. I'm just going to give them $100 because everybody else is.
Hey, you wouldn't even be a part of a church like that.
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
No.
You wouldn't even hear this conversation.
No, because to me, I mean, that's just one part of a bigger situation in that culture.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What be it in that particular church or just in church culture, period. I mean, if a person will go that far, and you're saying like the pressure is to pay tithes, right? Okay, well, some of us understood based on the Bible once upon a time that was something that was asked of congregants and stuff like that. And, you know, we've, in modern time, we press people for that, for the same principles.
Right.
But on top of that, there are all the other financial responsibilities and requests that are made outside of tithes.
Yeah, and you're paying that.
Right. So, I mean, it's just the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
you dream up that night and come back the next Sunday and say,
Yeah,
you know,
we're paying that.
Yeah. So what's up with the tithes?
In this last church that I was in, there was an incident where before I started going, they had already started working on getting land to build a church. They had raised money, put money in. They did all that, right? So when I started going, I'm thinking, oh, they're going to start building on this land, right? This magical land.
This magical.
Nothing ever really happened with this land, right? Well, one of the congregants,
So
which
they had
is a male,
Dr. Umar situation going on.
right? One of these
I love
congregants,
Dr. Umar, by the way.
he questioned it. When he questioned
He
it,
disappeared.
oh yeah, he got kicked out. But he was married, and he had kids.
Right.
And his wife continued to stay.
That's crazy.
And needless to say, they got divorced.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Because she was told that he wasn't saved and he wasn't a good person. And I'm telling you, they're probably already having some issues,
Yeah, yeah,
right? So
yeah.
he just fed off of that and her, convinced her to stay. And when it was time to go to California, they were already divorced. And he told her, "You're not taking my kids out of the state." So she just left him
She left the kids. Wow.
to go to California.
She didn't even go to the courts and like most people do and just say, wow. She was like, yeah, okay.
It's because
I'm about to have pastors' new babies anyway.
right, because you're deep into that. That's why I say when I watch these stories of all the cults and how they get it, and people are like, how do you get it? It's not as hard as you think. When you find a broken person, it's easy to manipulate them. It's
Right.
so easy. And because I was that broken person, I know.
But why can't you use that for good though? Like, I mean, you're saying
You
that.
have to be a good person.
So you say, I'm buying this. And I mean, we've heard millions of stories like this. I mean, there are people that have been outed and they're still thriving today,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Millions of followers.
Yeah.
And the bullshit has all been laid out, right?
Yeah.
So you say you're going to do something like, okay, we're going to build a new, mega utopia. Why not just build a mega utopia? I mean, to me, for a person like me, it's still kind of suspect, but I can respect the fact that you did this. You took these people money who believed in you and believed in your vision, because at the end of the day, God or no God, you believe in that person's vision that's in front of you,
Right.
right? And why don't you just do the right thing? But at some point when it never happens, whatever the proposal is, and the congregants are pouring money into this, and then the minute one person says, "Whoa, what's going on here?
Why?
Why we ain't break ground yet, Pastor?"
Because that was never the thing.
That's my point,
That was
yeah.
just the
So
lie to
who-
get you to submit to that.
But I would be asking, where's the money though?
When
I mean,
you-
I wouldn't last. I know I'll be asked to leave. I'll come next Sunday.
Right,
and
that's
they'll
what I'm
be
saying,
like,
because you'll be awake. But you see what I'm saying? Like, these people who are just following suit, they're asleep. They're not awoke yet. It took me a long time to wake up. And it's never like some huge epiphany, something big happens, you're like, oh my gosh. It's always something small. Like I told you, when he started telling us, don't talk to them, they're horny, this, that, and third. And I started thinking like,
so your husband wasn't pulling your coat and saying this and that, or was he more into the church than you was?
no, he wasn't into the church.
Oh, he wasn't at all?
No.
So when you come home with your Bibles and your...
Child, I needed that from him. So I needed to be praying over him in the house.
so he was an issue too.
He was, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I was broken. I was in a very abusive marriage. So they smelt that on you, right?
I grew up in several different churches, in and out of different churches growing up. And I saw the BS as a kid. I saw the BS firsthand. I saw sanctified people running up and down, doing somersaults in between the pews and everything. And the same people were, in hotels with deacons and pastors and stuff. I mean, I've seen it firsthand. Are very abusive people, men and women, who are the holiest people in church. Very abusive people outside of church. I mean, extremely abusive. So I've always had this cynicism about church culture. Not faith and belief, but church culture. So I get it. I understand the grift. I understand an unsavory, unscrupulous person saying, I'm going to get these motherfuckers everything I can get. Although he's a horrible person, I get his mentality. I don't understand the people that look up there and say, yeah, I'll rock with that.
That's the blessing for you. You've never been in a space where you felt like you needed that, right? It didn't work for you. They couldn't hypnotize you. That wasn't working.
And I think the male dynamic too, I know I keep pivoting to that, but the male dynamic for me is, again, having this man dictating some of the most sensitive parts of my relationship. Because at the end of the day, he's still a dude.
Although there are a lot of men that are asleep and married and they're allowing him to dictate.
I know. Look at, we could talk about a lot of different denominations that do that. I mean, there are whole camps full of them, You're like, dude, are you serious? How far is he in his goal, though?
I don't know. It doesn't say in the article how far he's gotten.
That nigga got $276.37.
He collected thousands of dollars already. That's all it says.
Wow.
And it looks like
how big is his congregation?
He's taking it by Visa and Google Pay, Apple Pay.
Anything you got.
Now you go to church and you can use your card, your Google Pay, your Apple Pay, Venmo, Cash App, whatever you want to do.
Yep.
We have it. There's no excuse not to pay.
That's crazy. And for people who are like living paycheck to paycheck or just getting by, I know that's not everyone, but that's just cold-blooded, man.
Yeah.
A piece of heaven.
Yeah. So that's crazy, but I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people out there that can relate or have been through this, and I definitely want to hear about this in the comments. If somebody has been through it like I've been through it, and you know and understand this, because at one point I probably been trying to find my $100 or something to get my plot.
You be like, baby, I gotta work 2 more extra days.
Oh, we used to give him our tax refunds.
That's freaking crazy, man.
Because he would say, we're gonna.
Where is he now?
In California still.
So he's still thriving?
Still thriving.
Does he have the other churches in other states?
No.
What's the size of his congregation approximately?
I don't think it's that big. It has to be maybe 100, maybe.
100. But shit, 100 loyal mother. 100 people that'll go out and earn. Who need thousands? Dang, that's crazy.
It's great. And that's just in,
What was his background? What's his background?
Military.
Okay.
He was military. He's a veteran. He has a psychology degree.
Oh, Lord.
Yep. So he knows how to manipulate very well.
Wow.
Very well.
Damn. I thought you was about to say prison. They come out of prison. Man.
No. No, he was military. He was a veteran.
So he's been around.
And he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He knows how to manipulate.
He knows how to find the right people, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's...
What he dress like? Does he fly?
For the most part. I mean...
Was he peacocking?
No, where was he from? St. Louis. He's not from...
Oh, Lord, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So he wasn't a peacocker, but there were certain things he would do, and I'd be like, what is this? I remember our first time going, he came in like in a robe, very, very sanctified. Yeah, it was very like
majestic,
regal. Yeah, and he had his armor bearers, and he had all them standing up there, and he's doing his sermon, and he was very prophetic. So he would read into you, right? And that's how he would get a lot of you. So much so that he used to tell us like, oh, I can read your thoughts. I know what you guys are thinking.
I can tell you have vision problems.
Maybe, yeah.
How long have you been black?
Right. And honestly, I can't say that people don't have a gifting. I believe people do.
You think so?
I do. I believe, Shaka, because I've been through that. I've seen things. I know things. But I believe people abuse those giftings.
Well, I mean, yeah.
It's abuse of gifting. So it's a tricky thing, religion. This is why I don't go to church anymore. It's nothing about God or the Lord.
I wish I could remember the names, because every now and then I see a YouTube feed or something about somebody that's done some crazy stuff. I remember a couple weeks ago watching this one reel about some unsavory pastors. I wish I could remember all their names. Some of them were famous. I don't remember the names now. And, you know, one was caught doing something like, you know, he had an earpiece, had the whole ear system, where somebody was feeding him the information about the person in front of him.
They used to do that all the time.
They
used to do that all the time. Now they don't do that so much. They're just manipulating you, right? Now it's a lot of manipulation. It's a lot of...
Because you already have certain information about people, and
now it's you trust and believe in me. Now I'm just going to tell you anything. You're going to go for it.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff I hear now in these sermons, I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, what?
And does it really have anything to do with God, though? Like...
That's why I said some of this stuff, I'm like, what? Some of this stuff I can't. I just can't. Some of them I'm like, you're not even preaching. You're not even looking in the Bible. Like, what do we do? Is this a motivational speech?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Well, they done blended that, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
all of them.
what?
It's like they all have a script.
Yeah.
Or not a script, but like it's a order that they all use now to do that. Because I listen from time to time just for comedy, and
not for comedy, not for the jokes.
I listen for the jokes, like, and it's motivation, more motivational now, and the more savvy ones now, like in the mega joints. They probably don't even mention God or Jesus maybe once or twice in the whole sermon. So they figured out a way to talk secularly to you, you know, and they pepper it with faith and stuff like that. And they give you, like you said, it's more motivational.
It's motivational.
Well, that ties into the whole, you know, what they call that, what's that word they use? The Joel Osteens and T.D. Jakes, what they call that? Prosperity stuff,
prosperity.
Right? So,
of course, because they have to have you feel that so they can give more money.
Right, yeah.
They want your money.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I don't have a problem with a person who has a fruitful church.
Yeah.
The church has been blessed with a certain amount of revenue, wealth, or whatever. I don't see nothing wrong with a pastor having a handsome salary.
Of course.
I don't see anything wrong with that. As long as it matches the congregation, right.
Exactly. It don't.
No.
And my thing too is a lot of these churches are in neighborhoods and areas that are not.
Of course, depressed areas.
Yes.
Come on.
Are you guys helping these areas? What are you doing? Like, how are you having all this money and this area is falling apart? Like, how are we not rebuilding and helping these communities? Well, that's the big thing with
people like you and I, because our criticism has always been like, you know, I am a post-civil rights person, right? Post-civil rights child. The church has always been strong in the black community, right? A big influence. At one time, it was a center of activity.
Yep.
But the church was in the community.
Yeah.
The church was the community.
Yeah.
Now, unless you go through those doors, we ain't got nothing for you.
Unless you go through the doors and you have to tithe.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Right.
So if
it's not enough to go to visit.
You have to be a tither. They will not help you if you are not a tither.
That's correct.
And then they keep track of how much you're giving. So then they'll look at how much you're giving. And they'll say, well, you've only given such, and such.
That's crazy.
So we really can't help you this much.
That's crazy.
This is how they are now.
Wow.
This
That's
is with their
cold.
people who are members.
That's
so
cold.
how can so you're not a member, you're not tithing, you're not getting nothing.
Well, I have a horrible experience. I have so many. You're making me think about things now.
Yeah.
I've had family members who have been faithful church members to a church, not a mega church or anything, just a regular neighborhood church. And when they passed, that pastor requested money
Yeah.
to do their service.
Yeah.
A person that has spent
Yeah.
years in your congregation, has tithed in your congregation, and you're asking the family for money to do
Yeah.
their service.
Yeah.
These are some cold-blooded
Yeah.
dudes, man. They're cold-blooded.
Absolutely.
And they don't blink an eye about it either.
No, they don't.
Because they got fools in their church that are going to support them and follow them.
Yes.
That's crazy.
That's exactly.
I never-
Because they're going to say that's the right thing to do, you know? So that's why I stopped going. That's why I stopped investing. That's why I'm like, no, this stuff don't make no sense. It's not adding up to anything that I know the Lord to be. You guys out here are just so, it's all ego.
Right.
It's nothing about, there's no love, there's no compassion, no empathy, there's nothing, it's just ego.
Well, somebody need to call this dude out. I didn't see the feed on that.
My cousin
I don't know if they're
told me,
clowning.
and
I don't know
was
if they're
like,
clowning this
what?
dude. I'd like to know what the feedback on social media is with this guy.
Oh my gosh.
You know, because that is horrible.
It's horrific.
There should be some federal law or something against that.
They're in Mexico. That's what a Christian church in Mexico made millions of dollars. My bad. Millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars selling plots of land in heaven, starting at $100 per square meter. And they were taking credit cards.
That is crazy. And they're real religious down there too.
Yes.
We are too up here.
Yes,
in
they
pockets, but
literally are taking advantage of people.
they are devout, especially the Catholic congregants.
Yes.
Down there. They're hardcore. You have thugs down there that have Jesus Christ on their back.
They don't play
and
no,
shit.
they don't play no games.
They be having Mother Mag, what's
They
her
don't
name?
play no
Mary. They be
games.
having Mary on their back with
They
two
don't
kids
play
in
no
their hand. Like,
It reminds me of Texas. Like, they don't play no games about their Lord. Don't you play no games, okay?
we can have the most hardcore thug, whatever.
And
And
they don't, that part.
Yeah. Thank you, Rayshawn, for allowing us to.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I hope you're having a good time out there, my brother. See you when you get back. Get back safely. And yeah, we out.
Bye, guys.